Okay, so welcome back to the Canada Specialist Program series. I would now like to bring in our panel. So our special guests today, please join me. Here they come. We've got a few on the panel to kick off with. Melanie, Joanne, and Lizzie and Fred. Right, we'll introduce everybody. So kicking off today's update will be Melanie from Travel Manitoba. Mel, great to have you back on the series. How are you doing?
Hi, Charlie. It's awesome to be here, and it's well, good evening from here, and good morning to everybody in Australia and New Zealand. It's wonderful to be back as part of the series. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, 9 p.m. in Manitoba at the moment, so working the late shift for us. And Melanie,
9
exciting
p.m.
news. 9 p.m.
It's 9
Exciting.
p.m. You can't see it. I'm wearing a Winnipeg Jets t-shirt because we're in the hockey playoffs, and the game is actually going on right at the moment as we speak. Winnipeg has just scored. We're 1-0 up in this game against Colorado. So I hope you guys don't hear any crazy screaming from my family downstairs. I've tried to block off every vent, but there may be some noise coming through, or there may be some cuss words coming through if things go south. So let's just
Yeah,
see. But
hopefully,
I'm
hopefully keep winning.
exactly. But I'm super happy to share and introduce you folks to Travel Manitoba's new in-market representatives for Australia and New Zealand. We've got Joanne Motta on our trade side and Lizzie Doyle on our PR and MR activities. Both ladies are local and available, and I think they're going to put their contact info in the chat. I don't know if do we have time for them to have a quick hi,
Yeah,
Charlie?
yeah, definitely. So yes, I think a lot of people on the call will know Joanne and Lizzie from all the work they already do with Canada. So yes, your new local Travel Manitoba representatives. Joanne, how you doing?
Great, nice to see everybody on the call, not see you in person, and looking forward to hearing all about Manitoba. I'll put my email contact so you can reach out at any time moving forward. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
So
you. Same for Lizzie. Lizzie, excited
Yes,
to
hello
be doing Manitoba.
everybody. Yes, thank you for joining us all today. I'll be managing the MRPR, which is Media Relations and Public Relations. So a lot of the stuff you might read about us in the travel trade press, I'll be putting forward and generating, and also some consumer media. Thank you all for joining us.
Great. Love your work, ladies. And of course, our other special guest today is Fred from Lazy Bear Expeditions. Fred, also joining us from Manitoba. Good evening.
Good evening, and thank you so much for having me here. It's my great pleasure to see everyone online.
Lovely to see you, Fred. And I know you've got a beautiful update of wildlife and wild adventures and some good stuff. So thank you. So the format today, as you can see, Melanie's going to go first. So actually, we'll say goodbye to Joanne and Lizzie and Fred. They will be in the chat as well. But thank you, everybody. We'll get ready for Mel's update, and she'll have one eye on the TV and one eye on the presentation for the hockey.
exactly, exactly.
So
All
funny.
right, Charlie, you
Okay,
want to kick
Mel,
it off?
I'm going to let you take it away. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm just going to minimize it a little bit so I can see the rest of my screen. Uh, okay. So again, yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. I typically would come to you with a presentation all about Churchill and some of our bucket list ideas. I'm going to touch on Churchill at the end of the presentation, but I'm really looking forward to Fred sharing some exciting new tours with you from Lazy Bear Expeditions. So I'm going to share some ideas that you may not necessarily have considered and take you in different parts of the province in less than 12 minutes. And here we go. Oh, is this not? Why am I not moving?
You're not moving, Mel? There you go.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so for those of you that are not too familiar with Manitoba, we're located right in the center of Canada. In fact, we literally are the longitudinal center of Canada. We're bordered to the west on Saskatchewan. The east, we border with Ontario. To the north, we've got Nunavut. And if you're familiar with the American borders, we border North Dakota and Minnesota in the south. How to reach Manitoba? Typically, your clients, if they're coming in from Australia or New Zealand or the Asia areas, you're going to come in either through Vancouver or Calgary with Air Canada or Qantas. But we also are thrilled to announce that we have a WestJet nonstop flight with from LAX. So if they're coming in from Australia into LAX, very quick and easy. It's a 2.5-hour flight, nonstop from LAX into Winnipeg. Other options to getting into Winnipeg, which is our capital city, is by train with Via Rail. And that's about a 2-day experience on the train. And then road trip wise, you're on the Trans-Canada if you're coming in from any of the other provinces into Manitoba. A little bit about Winnipeg, our capital city. Really, it's a totally unexpected and surprise, very underrated, but we really managed to deliver. It's the largest city on the prairies. We've got about 850,000 people that call it home. Very exciting city in terms of multiculturalism. It's very modern, very creative, a big music scene, lots of festivals, powwows, art exhibitions. We have some great architecture in terms of some of our museums and galleries, as well as some really world-class restaurants, great craft brewery, craft distilleries, scene that's exploding at the moment. And one of the venues or one of the museums that I really want to talk about that you really should not miss would be the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, which is the building that's located on the left-hand side of this image. So the Canadian Museum for Human Rights is one of Canada's national museums. It's the only national museum located outside of the capital of Ottawa. It's really an amazing facility, both from an architectural perspective, as well as the thought-provoking exhibits on the inside. The building itself is completely accessible. There's not a single stair in the building. The galleries are connected with the most beautiful ramps. The ramps are made from alabaster, which is contains healing properties, which is really truly intentional in terms of our journeys for human rights. And it's a visit that folks should for sure partake in when they come to Winnipeg. The museum is located right at the Forks. It's a National Historic Site. The Forks is the confluence of two rivers, and it's really been a major meeting place for over 6,000 years, from the first Indigenous peoples to fur trading in terms of history. Wonderful venue for activities. The museum is located there. The Inn at the Forks is a beautiful boutique hotel, and we have several buildings with wonderful restaurants and bars and shopping, as well as Indigenous shopping as well, including Manitoba Mucklucks, which is a wonderful store. Next to the Forks on our image, we've got Kamayuk. Kamayuk is a wonderful addition to the Winnipeg scene. It's an addition to our Winnipeg Art Gallery. It contains the largest collection of Inuit art in the world, soapstone collection from all the new northern communities, all the Inuit communities around the world, including Greenland as well. There's a visible vault, and there's over 5,000 pieces on display with this 3-story vault. The lower left is a new museum to Winnipeg that opened in the last year. It's located on the grounds of the Winnipeg Airport, and it's our Royal Aviation Museum. There's over 22 aircraft contained in the building, and it speaks to the history of Canadian aviation as well as other aviation artifacts. It's a wonderful place to explore and see the evolution of aviation. Two others that definitely should not be missed when your clients are in Winnipeg, or even if you're in Winnipeg. The first is the Journey to Churchill exhibit at our Assiniboine Park Conservancy. This is part of our Assiniboine Park Zoo. It's a mini replica that recreated the town of Churchill within the property, focusing on conservation, on research, on the polar bears, opportunity to see polar bears in what would be very similar to their natural habitat. It's known as a modern zoo. It's not a breeding zoo. So any of the bears that are there are typically orphaned bears that would not have made it on their own in the wild in Churchill, and they would have been brought down to Winnipeg to protect them. Next to the Journey to Churchill is the Leaf. The Leaf is a new facility in Winnipeg. It's absolutely stunning. It is a horticultural building. It's got two indoor biomes, a tropical as well as a Mediterranean biome, the largest indoor waterfall, wonderful restaurant space, as well as kitchens, teaching kitchens, Indigenous gardens, merchant gardens, Mediterranean gardens. It's a wonderful space, particularly on a very cold Winnipeg winter's day, to get in and really have some heat for the soul. It's really beautiful. This is our exchange district. Used to be a real hub, or the economic hub of Winnipeg at the turn of the century, known for its beautiful buildings, but it's also the hub of our arts and culture, music festivals, and some terrific shopping, as well as very cool cocktail bars and craft breweries. It also is the location of our arena for our NHL hockey team, our Winnipeg Jets. So Winnipeg is a gateway, not just a gateway up to Churchill, but also a gateway to explore the rest of the province. So your clients are coming into Winnipeg, they're wanting to do some activities around or get out into the province and explore. We have some really beautiful road trips, and I'll put together a few ideas for you to share and just understand a little bit more about what we've got in the province. Besides car rental, there's also opportunities for RV rentals, and some of these routes would be really fantastic for that. First one takes us east towards the Ontario border. This is to Whiteshell Provincial Park. It's about a 2-hour drive. It's going to take us from Winnipeg through St. Anne's, through Falcon Beach, and into the Whiteshell. The park itself is really beautiful. It's a very rocky landscape with forests, lots and lots of water. There's over 200 lakes in this part of the world. Typical scenery of the Canadian Shield, beautiful backdrop for all kinds of outdoor activities, whether it's hiking or biking, paddling, canoeing, exploring Bannock Point, Petriforms, which is an Indigenous sacred site of the Anishinaabe, and wonderful in all seasons. Couple of different hotel properties as well that we can connect you with. And then Falcon Beach Ranch also offers opportunities for horse riding and guided horse riding trails. Taking us north from Winnipeg takes us to Gimli and Hecla. This drive, if you did it from the Whiteshell directly, would take you about 3 hours through Dorothy Lake. We're going up to the side of Lake Winnipeg, which is Manitoba's largest lake. It's also the 12th largest freshwater lake in the world. Beautiful maritime type of atmosphere, gorgeous beaches. The beaches feel more like ocean than lake because they're so vast, but some beautiful sunny shores. Gimli itself is a small town. It's an hour north of Winnipeg. Marina. It's also Gimli and Hecla to the north were actually Icelandic settlements. You'll notice that by the street names, the family names of people that live there. And the marina, you can do different sailing activities, a lot of water sports activities. Further up north, an hour north, takes you to Hecla, which is a beautiful island with some lighthouses, walks, golf courses, pelicans, and a wonderful gateway for year-round fishing, whether it's fishing in the summer or ice fishing in the winter months. And you can rent bikes or kayaks or jet skis right at the marina. And then heading towards one of my favorite parts of the province takes you to Riding Mountain National Park. It's towards the Saskatchewan, towards our border with Saskatchewan. Really, it's a beautiful drive. You're going across Lake Manitoba through the Narrows. Riding Mountain National Park is one of Parks Canada's properties. It reminds me very much of a very small mini version of Banff, boutique hotel properties, thermal outdoor spas, and then lots of little really cute boutiques and shops and restaurants and bars. At the same time, you can also do safari viewing, whether it's bison or black bear, moose or elk, etc. And you've got prairie grasslands or marshes or boreal forests. So with very different ecosystems, it's going to give you many different opportunities to explore and again, enjoy across all seasons. This road taking you back to Winnipeg is about a 3-hour drive. On the way back, you're going to go through Nipawa, which is the home to Farmery, one of our craft breweries. You can do tours of the farmers of their fields and see how they make the different beers, and some great tastings and some great shopping as well for that. Perfect road trip for repeat visitors to Canada, those that are looking at doing something slightly different without all the crowds of some of the other provinces. We still have the beauty and scenery of all the lakes, but just creating some different kind of road trips for repeat visitors. So this whole trip on its own, if you did all of it, the entire drive would be about 13 hours in total and about 1,100 kilometers. Yeah, just some new opportunities. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Churchill very quickly. I know Fred's going to get into detail about Lazy Bear and their offerings. I just wanted to touch base very quickly and remind folks about Churchill. No road access up to Churchill, so really getting off the beaten path. It's about 1,000 kilometers north. The only way to get there is by plane or by train. Churchill is all about the subarctic wildlife, especially, of course, our polar bears. Churchill's known as the polar bear capital of the world. Very quickly, 3 distinct seasons to Churchill. The summer is going to give you in July and August. As soon as that sea ice breaks up and the ice melts, the bears are coming towards the shore. You've got about 60,000 belugas that come into the Hudson Bay, with 3,000 in the Churchill River estuary. We've got incredible northern lights, 300 nights a year of northern lights. Fall brings you polar bears getting ready to head out on the sea ice, other Arctic wildlife. You've got beautiful fall colors, and then, of course, northern lights. And then a dedicated northern lights season in February and March. So northern lights, culinary experiences, dog sledding, snowshoeing, etc. Wonderful as an add-on for ski trips or for anything that your clients might be doing in Canada in those months. I'm now going to hand you back to Charlie. I think we covered the entire province in 12 minutes. And Charlie, I'm looking forward to Fred sharing all about Lazy Bear.
Yes, amazing job covering the province in 12 minutes. Thank you.